at quadratic expressions, and now we're going to look closer at quadratic equations. So if you remember from the linear equations, they usually have one solution. So that solution would be a real number. It might be x equals 3 and y equals 1. But linear equations have one possible solution. Quadratic equations have two possible solutions. And I'll explain how that can be possible. So let's look at a quadratic expression. So we've got x squared plus x minus 12 equals 0. So the first thing, we can just take that away for a second. The first thing we want to do is factorize this. Let's look at this. Let's look at the factors. So we want a number that multiplies to give 1 multiplied by negative 12. So it multiplies to give negative 12. And it adds to give positive 1. So those two numbers are going to be negative 3 and 4. So we know we've got x minus 3 and x plus 4. Now if we imagine for a moment that this is equal to 0, so we want to solve this equation for when it's equal to 0. If a number, if we call this A and this B, then we know that if the answer is 0, either A or B must be 0. Any number multiplied by 0 is equal to 0. It could be that they both equal 0, but we know at least that one of them must be 0. And we know that they can't both be 0, because if x is equal to, x is the same number here and here. So if for example x is 4, or actually x is minus 4, let's imagine that x is equal to negative 4. Then this side would equal 0, but this side would equal to minus 4 minus 3 is negative 7. So we know that both A and B can't be equal to 0. But we're going to imagine that one of them is, because if the answer is 0, we know that one of them must be equal to 0. So let's imagine first that this side is equal to 0. So we can say x minus 3 is equal to 0, x is equal to 3. Let's now imagine that the other side is equal to 0. X plus 4 is equal to 0, x is equal to negative 4. So we have two possible solutions to the equation. Let's do another example.